absolutely beautiful. And the machine literally said, no thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and this is Blueprint DIY, where we remake our clothes to be just as unique as us. Today I am so excited to be bringing you guys another sewing machine review. I actually have quite a few sewing machines to review for you guys, all on the lower end, because I know that you guys are always looking for low cost options for sewing machines. Now, if you've been sewing for a while, oftentimes you'll invest in more expensive sewing machines, and of course I love doing those reviews as well, but oftentimes most of my beginners are looking for sewing machines like this, as well as those who are looking for something to travel with. They're looking for something like this, and this is a mini sewing machine, and this is the Singer M1000. I think it's fairly new to the Singer family, and I really wanted to try it out. I recently did a collaboration with Singer, and so I got this little baby in order to fit in the bag, in order to show you guys that you can make a really cute travel solution for yourself. This thing fits perfectly in the Singer travel bag, and this, I think, is going to be my solution for when I need to have a traveling sewing setup. But we're gonna see here. You're gonna see my first impressions of this sewing machine, and if in fact it will become my new traveling solution. So let's get into it. It came with a whole instruction book, which a lot of times you guys know that sewing machines often don't come with instruction books anymore. So if you are interested in actually having a paper book to look at versus one online, then it does come with that. And it also came with a mini presser foot and also a power cord. It came with 4 bobbins, 2 extra needles, a needle threader, a spool pin, and then it also has a screwdriver in order to be able to change the needles. It's called the mending machine, and it was specifically made to travel with, to be portable, and to mend garments with. It has 32 stitch applications, not actual 32 stitches. You have to keep that in mind when you're talking about a mini sewing machine. Most mini sewing machines don't have actual like a ton of stitches, but they do have a combination of stitch applications that you can use to do what you need to do. To be perfectly honest, I'm looking at this dial and it only has 11 different stitches on here. And so I don't know what you're supposed to combine them with in order to get up to 32. However, in most, just like most mini sewing machines, you'll have a bunch of straight stitches, and it goes towards where the needle will be moved. And then also you will have a bunch of different type of zigzag stitches. But the great thing is this one does have a blind hem stitch, so that's great, and a very small zigzag stitch. So one thing that I found in a lot of mini sewing machines is that you can't wind the bobbin, and so this one you can wind the bobbin, so that's great. It does have a back stitch knob here, and it also has a clear bobbin container so that you can see like how much bobbin thread you have left. And it also has a guard, so if you are a beginner to sewing, or if you're buying this for a child, then you don't have to worry about them sewing their finger. And it also doesn't use batteries. I know sometimes for a portable machine you might want to be able to use batteries. This one doesn't use batteries. You can only use the power cord, but it does have the Singer name on it. It says it's been tested by the Singer professionals. So let's see how it sews. All right, so let's talk about how this sews. It was really easy to thread. Like any of your other sewing machines, this one is going to thread pretty much the same. It was a no-brainer. I didn't have to pull out the instruction book. That informs me as to how intuitive it's going to be, how simple it's going to be for anybody who's touched the sewing machine at all. I didn't even have to read the manual to thread the bobbin, so it threaded just like every other sewing machine. So that was great. I have 3 materials that I typically test on these sewing machines. I test men's dress shirt material, which is just a basic cotton, denim, which is also cotton but thicker, and then I also test leather. I sew a straight stitch. Now, This sewing machine did not come on the regular thread tension. Most sewing machines out of the box, they come on like a 3 or a 4, in between 3 and 5 on the thread tension, because that's what's normal. It came at a 0, which is fine, but I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that. And so my first stitch came out with a really loose back. And typically that means your thread tension is not set properly. So I took a moment to set the thread tension, and the stitch came out absolutely amazing. Now, one con, I don't know if that's a con or not. It is to me, kind of. It has one speed. Like legitimately, no matter how soft or hard you press the presser foot, it has one speed. So it's not fast, it's not super fast, but it's not going to give you, like if you're getting to the end of your stitch and you want to go slow, it's not going to do that. It has one speed. So, you know, you can take that for as good or bad, whichever you like. But yeah, the stitches were really good. And then I decided to test out some of the other stitches. Like I said, I still can't figure out how they're saying that it's 32 stitches, but at any rate there are 11 choices, so that's great. And so I decided to sew on the really small one. There are, I think, like 3 or 4 different stitch lengths, which is great. So the really small one still sewed very well. So this is the largest one and the smallest one. This sewed very well. Then I sewed on like the multi-stitch zigzag stitch really well, and then the blind hem stitch. For this to have a blind hem stitch is really good. I think that is a really good thing to have for mending, and it says it's for mending, so it makes sense that it would have a blind stitch, because you would typically use blind stitches for hemming professional pants, not necessarily jeans or anything like that. For professional pants, skirts, you would use a blind stitch, so it's helpful to have that. Then I used some of the smaller, the regular zigzag stitch, the largest one, and the smallest one. And the smallest one you can see right here is small, but it's not super close together. So you can technically try to do a 4-step buttonhole with that, but it's not a 4-step buttonhole. So this technically can't do buttonholes. And I don't know, I mean, for mending, would you need to do a buttonhole? I don't know, but it would be nice. At any rate, that's what it did on the cotton. Let's move on to the denim. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Definitely hit that subscribe button down below. I have so many different types of upcycles, whether you're talking about the easy, the no sew, all the way up to the most amazing epic upcycles ever. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything, and turn on all notifications. And you also have an opportunity to join my members only group. That is a group where you can either take a class by me, or you can watch my live interviews every Monday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely hit that join button down below to learn about all the perks, and we'll get back to the video. All right, so right off the bat with the denim, I did do this with the largest stitch length, so keep that in mind. It sewed through it very well. Both the front and the back look well. That is without an adjustment to the tension. You can take the tension slightly up, slightly down to either 3 or 5 to make it, you know, however you want it, but it worked pretty well for me. I like to test out a machine on the same settings, just see how it's going to perform, because one of the things I find it keeps people from sewing is just those little details of having to change every dial every time you sew. And so I find that if I find a machine that I can pretty much leave the dials where they are and get a decent stitch, especially for a mending machine, it's something you're going to be doing quickly, trying to do it and move on, then that's helpful. So I enjoyed that. And it went over the end, which is the hem, or this 4 layers right at the end. So that was really cool. Now, I did go ahead and fold it in half to see if it would go all the way through 4 layers in totality, and I actually realized that it has the extra lift. So that was good, and that allowed me to be able to put the 4 layers under the presser foot. So I was happy about that. But the thing about the extra lift is sometimes I forget to put the foot all the way down and all of my heavy duties have the extra lift. I absolutely love it. This one I wouldn't consider the extra lift. It just lifts higher than its original lift position. So like an extra lift on my heavy duty would fit 10 layers of denim. This extra lift may fit 6 if I really shoved it in, but it's nice that it has it. So put it in the first time, forgot to put down the foot, got a bird's nest. That's definitely what's gonna happen if you forget to put your foot down. So you gotta put your foot down. But once I got the foot down and started sewing on it, it was absolutely amazing until I got to the end where there are 6, 7, 8 layers, and the machine literally said no thank you. It said no ma'am, you asked me to do enough now. It shut off, the light went off, and it just said no thank you, no thank you, we don't do that, we don't do that here. So so it won't go through like 6 or 8 layers. It was not having it, but it is nice that it will go through 4 and it'll go over the hem of denim. That's typically what most of us will be needing to do, unless you're me and you're crazy. But for most things that you need to do, and for what I would be using this for, fixing costumes for my daughter's dance company, I wouldn't need to do a whole lot of layers, so that would work. And then last up, let's talk about this leather. I was worried about how it was going to sew on leather because it's not a Teflon foot, it's just a regular foot. And typically when I'm sewing leather on any of my machines, except for the Sailrite with the walking foot, I have to use the Teflon foot because leather is kind of tacky and it sticks to the bottom of the plate. But then I noticed that it has these the little feed dogs are kind of high, and I guess maybe it walked that leather right on through there because I had no issues. And so first I just wanted to put in 1 layer of leather just to see if it would go through it. That looks nice. And it absolutely did, and the stitch was absolutely beautiful, like just perfect, like beautiful, beautiful. So I was like, okay, will it go through 2 layers? So I decided to go ahead, and of course you can't do just one layer, you need to go through 2 layers. And so it definitely went through the 2 layers. The stitch is absolutely beautiful, just like the first one. So of course I decided to push my luck and try to go through 4 layers, and it said no thank you, no ma'am, no ma'am. I blink and I turn off for you right now. So we're gonna just take its word and let it do what it does and let it be happy. So who is this machine for? I believe this is a good traveling portable sewing machine. Like I said, it would definitely be for those of us who are looking for something that you can carry, even like if you have to take it on a plane. Somebody told me that they were looking to do something like that with theirs, just for mobile mending, just, you know, mobile mending. In November, I'm going to be doing a fashion show. I can take this with me in my little Singer bag, and if anything happens at the fashion show where I need to alter one of the garments, I can do it right on site, no worries. So I'm excited about that. So that's what this is for. And it also has a free arm. So if you're mending sleeves, shortening sleeves, or anything like that, then you can place the sleeve around here with no issue. So I love that. You guys definitely let me know in the comments if you are interested in the Singer M1000 and how you think it would compare to other mini sewing machines at the price tag of $80. I will be making a comparison video to let you guys know which sewing machine I think is the best for under $100. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss that, and turn on all notifications. And I definitely have other videos for you to watch right here, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.